Welcome everyone to the SEMA Show 2025 here in Las Vegas, Nevada, home of some of the wildest builds in the entire world. Today I'm going to walk you through the entire show and show you some of my favorite cars here. Let's get started. Let's start with one a lot of you will probably know, the BMW M3 GTR from Need for Speed Most Wanted. This car features a full wide body GTR kit as well as the matching graphics and going the extra mile, the plate from the video game. And then sitting next to it, we got a couple Fast and Furious cars. We got the Mona Lisa, and then we have Brian's Toyota Supra from the first Fast and Furious movie. And then out here we have Horsepower Rodeo. Basically everything you see here is burning their tires completely to the ground. And one of the wildest builds of the whole show is this big block Barbie burnout car. This dude, Speed Freaks, is rad. He built this all around an engine. It weighs 1,000 pounds, 700 of which is the engine, makes like 500 horsepower, and all it does is shred tires. I love this thing. Now we're gonna head indoors where it's gonna be a little bit quieter. Here we are inside of West Hall. This is where you're going to find most of your wrap companies as well as the off-road guys here in this building. Let's go ahead and start with one of the wrap companies. This is Tech. These guys are rad. I've worked with them in the past on my off-road lifted Civic, and they've got one of the coolest cars here at the show. This is a brand new Liberty Walk R34. This is, to my knowledge, the first one like this in the United States, and it's wrapped, of course, in their color schemes. It's very, very cool. But perhaps even more wild would be these two cars, the Ferrari F40 and the Baby F40. This is actually a AutoZam AZ1 with a Liberty Walk wide body kit on it to mimic the F40. You can see it's like 3/4 scale. This has like 64 horsepower. This one has a ton of horsepower. This has actually been wrapped different colors throughout the years. It's been to SEMA many, many times, and it is pretty heavily modified, but it's always nice seeing Tech bring out some pretty cool cars and cool wraps. Look at this wrap. This looks like a blued steel. It's called blue steel, matter of fact. And the AutoZam over here actually looks more like a DeLorean in some ways with this brushed steel look. It is a wild wrap. And again, this is a wrap. I think they're limiting it to like 50 rolls or something. So if you want your car to look like this, better jump on it fast. One more wild car here in the Tech booth would be this completely wrapped McLaren P1. This is Alex Choi's McLaren P1. First P1 that we know of on Volks TE37s. And again, everything is wrapped. This thing looks like a UFO. The windows are wrapped, the headlights are wrapped. It's crazy. Somebody pointed out that the brakes were also polished. The rotors, those are actually coated in a compound to make them last longer, and they get shinier the more you use them. So it's pretty cool stuff. The Tech team, they always put together one of my favorite booths here at the show, so we're off to a strong start. This is one of the coolest cars here at the show. It is a Ferrari GTK. This is a Stanceworks car. Mike over there did all the custom aero, the wide body, all the design on this Ferrari, and put a K-Series here in the back, making a ton of power. One of the more unique builds here at the show for sure. Here in the G-Technic booth, we have one of the wildest K-trucks out there. This is Sean Bassett's Mitsubishi Minicab, and it's been taken to the extreme. Custom wide body, carbon fiber everything. Everything you see here on the bed is all custom carbon fiber, roll cage, wing, fuel cell. I mean, everything's been done on this except the engine. Makes 40 horsepower, but it looks cool doing it. Here in the GSWF booth is not an R34 Skyline. This is actually a 32.4, so it's a R34 front end, R32 rear, custom wide body, but the kicker is the interior of this is a mobile karaoke bar. There's speakers here in the back. They're actually like power sports speakers. And not only that, if you go to the back here, there's another karaoke machine. So no matter where you go on this one, you can be singing along with your friends. And if you like hypercars, SEMA is the place to be. Apollo IE, Hennessy, Venom, F5. I mean, this is the fastest car in the world right now. It is just ridiculous. ridiculous. You'll see these and plenty more hypercars here at the SEMA show. Case in point, walk 15 steps away from that one, run into a McLaren Senna and a Bugatti Chiron Super Sports. It's just crazy to see these cars. Onto a car that is instantly recognizable. This is, of course, Suki's S2000 from the Fast and the Furious. The second one, this was actually a repurposed vehicle. This was Johnny Tran's S2000 in the first Fast and Furious, the black one. And then for the second movie, they took everything off, sprayed it paint, gave it the graphics and a different interior, and turned it into Suki's. So when you are looking at this car, it is both cars in one. Pretty unique. Talk about an eye-catching display. The guys here at EOG have all of their trucks here, and this one is stacked upon these two. Basically, they made special ramps, they made special parts for the bed to display their truck here on top of these other two trucks. So these things are super beefy. They've got what's called a liquid spring. This is a little bit newer technology to me, but I love the idea of it and it being used off-road as well. This is a pretty gnarly display. It's been a while since I've seen a TV screen and a front bumper or a headlight. This really takes me back to the early mid-2000s. If you follow YouTuber builds, this is Tavarish's McLaren P1. It's in the middle of getting all custom bodywork made for this. So this car was involved in a flood back a couple years ago, and now it's slowly being put back together with all new parts, basically trying to be made better than the car originally was, which I gotta say is a valiant endeavor. Can't wait to see it finished. Just standing here in the middle of the room, you got airlift over here, liquid spring right here, Fox shocks here, and then over here you've got King suspension. You got lighting over here, you've got bumpers over here, you've got storage solutions over here, you've got winches over here, suspension over here. There is everything to outfit your rig here at the SEMA show. King Suspension always has one of my favorite booths here at the SEMA show. They always find new and creative ways to showcase their products and all the quality and craftsmanship that goes into those products. And they got just about every single suspension piece on display over there as well. It's just too bad they don't make anything for a Honda Civic, am I right? But seriously though, King, if you're seeing this, I'd love to have some custom suspension for my rig. This is Von Gittin Jr.'s Mustang GTD. This is actually the first GTD I have seen in person, and I gotta say, I really like it. I love how wide it is. I love how it looks like a Mustang, but virtually everything on this car has been touched, replaced, upgraded in some way, and everything is super functional as well. Massive vents everywhere you look, aerodynamics everywhere you look, big engine under the hood. I mean, everything reworked on this car. It is a proper GT car for the road. Last stop here in West Hall is at the XPEL booth with this Pagani Imola Roadster. It makes more than 800 horsepower, V12 engine, carbotanium body, beautiful color shift paint, which is also protected by PPF. They've been wrapping all of this stuff in the PPF and letting people come up and scratch it and show the self-healing properties of it. It's pretty unique stuff on a pretty unique car. That was West Hall. You've only seen a quarter of everything to see here indoors, so now I've got a 15-minute walk to North Hall. Here we are in the middle of North Hall. You have massive people like eBay here, Shop Monkey, Walmart is even back here. But not only that, you've also got the small brands from overseas and everything in between. This is also where you'll find your big name car audio brands as well as car lighting, and they've got some wild display cars. Let me show you around a few of them. The MTX booth has a completely custom 4-door OBS pickup truck that is body dropped, top shaved. Everything on it is different. And of course, it has MTX goodies here in the back. MTX has been around since I was a kid, even before then. These guys definitely know what they're doing when it comes to audio, and this truck is a wonderful way to showcase it. There's also a couple of pretty cool displays, like this subwoofer display. It's just playing low frequencies right here, but it's really unique to see stuff like this here at the SEMA show. Here in the corner we have SEMA's Battle of the Builders. This is where some of the best builds, especially new ones, get brought out and showcased for everybody to judge and then declare a winner at the end of it. This is a crazy car to put a sound system in. This is a Fiat 500 Abarth with 4, looks like 12-inch subwoofers in here. And this is in the JBL booth, so they got all their newest stuff. This is slammed on the ground with the body kit, and it has a manual transmission as well. Always nice seeing out of the box builds like this. This is actually one of my favorite classic car builds here. This is a Caprice Classic, and under the hood is a supercharged LS engine, but everything has been gold plated and then engraved. The wheels are also gold plated. These are massive Dayton wire wheels with the white and gold Godfathers on the sides. All of the trim you see here has also been gold plated. And then take a look here in the back. This is where all of the sound system resides, because this is of course inside of the DS18 booth. These guys do big subwoofer builds. This thing is set up perfect. It is beautiful from every angle. I love classic builds just like this. Now for all my Stranger Things fans, this is a screen-used Hawkins power and light van from Stranger Things. This is super cool. It's in the Memphis audio booth, and it looks totally normal from the outside, but once you get inside, it is completely walled off back here with tons of amplifiers, but it gets even better. This is the speaker setup right here, complete with Demogorgon on the outside. This is one of the more unique things here at the show. Then finishing us off here in North Hall is going to be this van in the Rockford Fosgate booth. It's a 1963 International van. It's been converted into a lowrider ice cream van. All of the graphics you see on this van have been hand done. It took 2 years to do from start to finish. It's got beautiful Zenith wire wheels, hydraulic setup, and of course, because this is in the Rockford booth after all, has a very nice sound system as well. And you can see the pumps here through the clear floor. It's a wild build, and it took so long to get it looking like this, and you got to admit, the craftsmanship on this one is crazy. In between North and Central Hall here is the 43 Institute with a truck that really needs no introduction. This is, of course, the Hoonitruck, Ken Block's Ford F-150. Under the hood here, well, mostly under the hood, you got the turbo sticking through it, is a twin turbocharged V6 engine making something like 900 horsepower. It's a ridiculous figure on this truck, and it was meant to go drifting. This is a Gymkhana truck, so everything on this truck was purpose-built for going fast, and going fast sideways. And you gotta admit, this is just one of the more iconic vehicles in recent years. It's crazy to look at. And then here we are, ladies and gentlemen, Central Hall. This is where some of the wildest builds in the world can be found. Take a quick glance at all of the different vendors going all the way to the back of the room here. We're gonna go and take a look at quite a few of these places. Starting us off with one of the most expensive JDM cars of all time. This is an R34 GTR M-Spec NER. Of course, RB26 under the hood, Millennium Jade paint. They did not make many of these. Matter of fact, the last one that I'm aware of sold for right around $500,000. And here we are in the back of Central Hall with my favorite minivan of the entire show. This is a Honda Odyssey Type R. The guys at Bisimoto and JDI made this happen. It is an OEM plus build with this car. Inside, you'll see right here, that is a manual shifter. This is a true manual transmission car. Everything was converted over, so this really is a very sporty minivan. One of my favorite things about this whole van is that this right here, which is the window sticker, is actually the spec sheet on this build. There's a lot of really fun stuff. If you pause to look at it, you can see all the information on this build. These are Honda Access wheels. They're like a dealer option wheel. But around back here, this is what really sells it. That is a diffuser from a Civic Type R as well. So it looks the part on top of going fast too. This is an OEM plus build. I'm an OEM plus guy. This is the Oil Stain Lab HF11X. It is crazy to look at. This is a street legal supercar, loosely based on a Porsche. Back here you have a flat six. It makes something like 650 horsepower, but there's an option for an EV driveline, if that's more your speed, up to 800 horsepower. And again, this only weighs 1 ton. So the power to weight ratio on this thing is just off the charts. This was Oil Stain Lab's first car. This was called the Half 11. Again, loosely Porsche based, but around back back, instead of a flat 6 or an EV, this is a V8 all-American power plant back here. And this thing is so cool to see. It's always nice to see this car in person, just how raw everything is. Everything being handmade for this car. It's always a unique car to see here at SEMA. Anybody recognize what kit is on this Mazda RX-7? This is, of course, the Veilside kit, popularized by Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. Han's orange and black color-schemed RX-7 really set this kit off in the movie and put this kit on the map, making it absolutely iconic. But this one is also very well modified with air suspension, so it's sitting very low to the ground. Now, I'm a Honda boy, so the HRC booth here always has some of my favorite cars on display. Let me walk you through a few of them. Starting off here, we have the HRC Passport Trail Sport concept. This is like a prototype that they have all of these different parts on. So got the winch up front here, different colors on the paint scheme. It's actually textured here on the bumpers for a more rugged look. Bigger tires, bigger suspension, and then it doesn't stop there. The exhaust is tucked completely up inside, and the drive shaft is also completely covered to help it with more off-road capabilities. And then up top here is a whole new roof rack assembly from HRC, spare tire rack on the back. Everything on this thing is completely functional, and I believe Honda does plan on taking some of this technology and implementing it on some of their more hardcore production cars. And that gives me hope for this. This is the HRC prototype Type S Integra. Everything you see here has been modified just slightly by HRC. So this is an Integra Type S basically turned up to 11. It's a couple 100 pounds lighter thanks to the use of carbon fiber here, basically everywhere. Different wheels, different brakes. Love the paint scheme on this one here. It's beautiful, deep yellow metallic that is also reflected through the seat belts and the bars back here for bracing, and there's no seat here in the back either. There's also HRC branded Recaros for the front. That's where a lot of the weight savings comes from there, and yellow accents on the dash too. So I really love this car. This was shown here at SEMA last year, and it really caught my eye. And normally I'm not a super big fan of new cars, but this one actually got me excited, I'm not gonna lie. And the last car here in the Honda racing booth, I feel like should be an actual race car. This is a TCR Civic Type R. It is a really unique livery on this one. It's all like hand painted and everything, but this was an actual race used car. You can see it is imperfect in a lot of ways, and there is actual markings all over the front of the car. No price listed, no horsepower listed, but these race cars are powerful, fast, and very fun to watch. And now here in the WD-40 booth, I'm not gonna lie, this is a YouTuber build. This is throttle. I normally don't like YouTuber builds, but this one breaks that norm tremendously. This is a Ford GT. It was wrecked into a wall back in about 2007. And then the guys at Throttle built this with a complete GT2 carbon fiber body, front to rear, different suspension, different wheels, tires, brakes, different interior, bumped up engine. Everything you see here has been done up to the nines. It looks beautiful. For a race car bodied GT, the fit and finish on this is just incredible. I love it. There are no corners cut that I can find. And again, breaks the norm for YouTuber builds. Good job. Here in the PSR booth, this is a Ute from Australia with Australia's 2JZ under the hood here. This is a Barra inline 6. It makes well into the quadruple digit horsepower in its current configuration. And this thing is set up for drag racing. You got a roll cage, a couple Kirkies, a steering wheel, which is on the right hand side, and that's about it. That's all you get in this thing. It is set up to go fast. That's all it does, and it does a really good job of it. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what this car is, I don't blame you. There's not many of them. This is an Auto Union 1000 SP. It is sitting incredibly low because it is actually on air suspension that's all been customized by my friend John Ludwig at Ludwig's Garage. He actually took the floor pan from a Volkswagen Beetle, the engine from a Beetle, put it on here because there's nothing for the auto unions as far as an aftermarket goes here. So all of this patina you see on here has been very well preserved as well. It really just sets off the whole look of the car. It's not pristine, but it looks gorgeous nonetheless. Here in the Idemitsu booth, we have an Acura Integra with a turbocharged K-swap here up front, and it's tucked and shaved beautifully. It's a really, really nice example. It's a USDM example with a JDM front end on it. That's why it might look a little bit weird to some of my North American viewers. You can see here, black Recaro interior, left-hand drive, digital dash, beautiful shifter setup. This thing is done right, simple, clean, and effective. Here at the IPE booth is a creative, bespoke build Lamborghini Revuelto. Some carbon fiber bits here and there, different wheels. But what I want to talk about is the paint. If you can't already tell, it is this color shift. Believe it or not, factory from Lamborghini. If you have enough money to spend, Lamborghini will paint your car this color that changes rapidly in the light, as you can see there. It costs upwards of $60,000 to have your car painted in this color, but I gotta say, looking at it in person, that is money well spent. Amongst the cherry blossoms here is the Liqui Liberty Walk Silhouette R32 Skyline. Look at this blocky face. This is like a Bozozoku front end from Japan. Super wide on the body kit and even wider in the rear. One of my favorite things about this whole body kit, number one, the spoiler, but number two, the taillights. Specifically, the fact that they were relocated, because normally they sit towards the ends of the car, right? But it's so much wider. The normal taillights sit about here, so what they did was integrate these taillights into the body kit to still give it a factory look. And that's just going the extra mile, and Liberty Walk does a good job of it. I am a huge fan of the Toyota Chaser, and this one is just hitting on all cylinders for me here. So nice and low, lip kit all the way around, beautiful work wheels, big brakes behind them, but it's always the interiors on these that really get me. This is full-on grandma spec, beige interior, seat doilies to match. Just this is what I think of when I think of the Toyota Chasers, this interior right here. I gotta say, it does not get much better for me personally than this. Here in the Miltech booth, we have a Label Motorsports wide body kit. This wide body kit on this C8 Corvette is custom. It is super unique looking. Adds a couple of inches per side to this car here. It's got some nicely fitted wheels, and if you think the fronts are crazy, take a look at the rear wheels. I believe these are something like 13 or 14 inches wide, just ridiculous. But the custom exhaust setup here, because this is Miltech exhaust, by the way, looks amazing with that triple. Reminds me of a Lexus LFA in a lot of ways. Oh, and I almost forgot to show you guys, the craziest part of this is probably the interior. Purple contrast on green. There's green accents inside as well. This makes it look like the Joker or something like that. I kind of dig it though. It's a little wild, a little out there, but it definitely suits the car overall. Let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments. Now on to the Honda booth, and much like the Odyssey from earlier, under the hood here, we have a new Type R engine swap. So turbocharged 4-cylinder, 320 horsepower. This is a drop-in kit that's going to be available to purchase, and you can swap this into your old Civic. Everything else on here is spoon. You got the graphics, the mirror caps, the wheels. Inside you got the seats, the steering wheel. Around back you've got the wing. Just everything on this car outfitted to be very simple and clean, but yet very effective. Here in the Ram Air booth, we have one of the coolest Volkswagens here at the show. This is a Volkswagen Golf Mark 8 with an 8.5 front end on it, and a lot of other modifications and goodies. Of course, the Ram Air intake going up to here, carbon fiber everywhere. This thing makes right around 500 horsepower with a big turbo add-on and a tune. These are factory Volkswagen wheels converted into 3-piece with some nice APR brakes behind them. A very nice OEM Plus interior, paint matched Tula roof box, but get this, look at the air setup back here in the trunk. I love simple and clean. That seems to be the theme of this video. I'm just showing you guys simple and clean, but I promise we'll get to some wild builds here in a minute. Here we go. How about a crazy build? This is a 6-wheeled small semi-truck here. It is slammed to the ground. It is a compound turbo setup here on a diesel engine. Look at how the wheels fit on this. They're completely custom made for this truck specifically. And then inside of the cab here, everything completely reupholstered. I love the gauge setup here in the middle, the cup holders. So it's all very functional in here, but look at the fabrication work here for the rear end. You have your ball hitch up here. These are all of your air lines that are all symmetrical right here because, again, air suspension, so it can sit down low like this, and all of these custom tubs that were made perfectly to go over these wheels and tires. This is just a next level truck build, and the more you look at it, the more you see. Here we have a car that I personally have not gotten very up close with, so we're gonna see this together for the first time. This is a Ring Brothers Aston Martin. Beautiful, completely handcrafted chassis on this. Everything is brand new, carbon fiber pieces, the body, underneath the hood, everything on this car is super light and very well executed. Speaking of being well executed, get a load of this interior here. Everything is just stitched to a T. The nickname on this one being the Octavia there in the dash. Just everything you see. Steering wheel, shifter, gauges, dash. And look at this aggressive rear end setup here with that nice flat wing on the back, the exhaust sticking out of the diffuser. This is gorgeous. They knocked it out of the park with this one. Ring Brothers always make some cool cars. For their first Aston Martin, this one's a win. Let's take a break for a moment and walk outside to the Toyo tread pass over here. You're about to see a lot of very well executed builds, starting off with this Hakotora. This is, of course, a Japanese vehicle. V8 engine up front here, clamshell front end, everything tubular in the rear, completely custom. I love this inboard cantilever suspension as well. And then everything is powder coated to match underneath, up top, outside. The interior, very minimal in here, but it gets the job done. This is one of my favorite trucks here at the show. The car that everyone is stopping here to look at is the S Club S63S. So basically this is a 2024 Mercedes-Benz S63 with a 1971 Mercedes body put on top of it. So it is a brand new car for all intents and purposes. You can really tell that from the inside here. This is all brand new Mercedes all the way throughout. You've even got the recliners in the back, and then the bodywork is immaculate. You've even got a carbon fiber roof up here for the extra added touch. It is so unique, such a cool build. And look here at the inside of the wing back here, 1,000 horsepower, the taillights that were grafted in here. S Club really did their best with this thing. I love it. Here's a car that I have not seen very much coverage on. This is a Volkswagen Golf with a turbo VR6 swap here. This thing makes well over 700 horsepower. Look inside though, this is just incredible. The orange and blue kind of reminds me of the Golf livery on the old race cars. Digital dash, Sparco steering wheel with matching stitching, beautiful shifter, engraved door handles, and it just doesn't stop there. Custom enclosure for the rear, paint match roll cage, and then around back here, it is all-wheel drive, so this thing can boogie. This is one of the better Volkswagens here at the show. Here we have another wild S Club build. This is a Lamborghini LP640 with one of the craziest interiors I've ever seen on one of these. Everything was pulled out of this car. We're talking dash, seats, carpet, any piece of upholstery, and completely redone in this blue. Not to mention, outside of that, you have an intake back here, carbon fiber wing, and a whole lot of other stuff. These guys build some of the wildest cars out there. Here is the Bulletproof Automotive S2000, custom wide body, carbon fiber hood, carbon fiber everything, everywhere you look. But I wanted to point out the wheels. These are not like aero disc covers on this. These are actually wheels that are one piece forged from one piece of aluminum and then dimpled all the way around. It's one of the coolest, most unique looking wheels I've ever seen. Now we'll finish up the tread pass with one of the craziest Mercedes here at the show. Look at the top of the headlights, or rather the lack thereof. That is a turbocharger there and another one over here. This twin turbo Mercedes is not only that, it's also wide bodied, bagged, sitting on beautiful rotiform wheels. There you have your side pipes sticking out of the bodywork. Inside, look at the roll cage, the Recaros up front, and it's also got reverse hinged doors. It's a true VIP car that has been turned into like a street/race car. I love the look and design of this thing. It is wild through and through. All right, let's head back inside Central Hall here and keep looking around. Man, it feels nice to be in some air conditioning when you're walking around out here. We're gonna look at a few more builds here in Central Hall, and then we are going to head out to South. This is actually a company that I used to work for full time. This is Coker Tire, Coker Group. They've got a couple of really unique cars out here. 16-inch radial tires with a big and little look. This is like a brand new tire. And then they also finally have sizes up to 20 inches in redline tires now. Wish we would have had that years ago whenever I was working the phones, but hey, you know what? It's cool to see them now in person, and these cars look just as good. If you follow along with a lot of YouTube builds, you'll instantly recognize this car. Just unveiled here at the SEMA show is TJ Hunt's 488 with the Evo kit all the way around it. This is a race car for the road in all essence. It's got different turbos on it, BBS wheels, different stance to it, and it looks phenomenal in this red finish. Of course, most Ferraris do, but this one just really pops that extra amount. Again, I'm not typically a fan of YouTube builds, but this car breaks that norm. Here's an early look to what you'll find in Toyota dealerships starting early next year in 2026. This is the RAV4 GR Sport. It's got the GR body kit all the way around it. I think it looks great, but however, there's one thing. They don't mention any sort of a power figure or power adders of any sort, so we'll have to see when this thing actually releases if it's going to have anything hopped up to back up the looks. By the way, the Toyota booth is the largest booth here at the SEMA show. It takes up this whole wall in Central Hall. This used to be Ford's, by the way, but they gave that up a few years ago whenever they skipped a year. But look at this. I know it's not a car per se, but I want you guys to look very closely at what it says here on the side. Scion. They have revived the Scion name as an off-road buggy. I really don't know what to think about it. I don't know too much about it, but it looks great here in person, and maybe this might be the resurgence of something great. Who knows? Here we have a couple more cool Euros. This is actually my friend Steven's tow rig and Golf here. This Golf is actually a custom wide body car that he designed himself. This is number one for all intents and purposes here. Look at the engine though under the hood. 5-cylinder turbo. It is wicked, wild, whatever you want to call it. These are new rotiform wheels that I have not seen on this car. I've seen this car a few times. And here in the interior, look at just the lengths that he went to make all of this look nice. I can just stand here and appreciate this virtually all day. It doesn't even stop there. It goes all the way to the back, custom floor pan pieces, and just everywhere you look, everything's riveted together, all smooth. This is so nice. I love it. And the fact that he towed it here with his Cayenne. This Porsche Cayenne is no ordinary off-roader. It's a full Euro-wise suspension underneath, and one of the cooler things, it's also a diesel. And of course, you can camp out of it too because it has this nice big rooftop tent. It is very big, especially for this Porsche here, but man, I gotta say, matchy looks real nice with this. This is one of my favorite builds in all of Central Hall here. This is a Ferrari swapped Subaru. The owner's standing right here propping the hood up so you guys can see the wild engine. Classic blue gold wheel setup that you see on a lot of Subarus, but look at the side. It's only got 2 doors. This is a 2-door, essentially hatchback made from the wagon. It's also got accentuated body panels. The guy that made this body actually commented on a post that he had made saying, hey, I made this body way back in the day, years and years ago, and here it is at the SEMA show looking incredible with this Ferrari engine up front. Here we have a super unique Infiniti. This is a QX80 R-Spec. What makes it so cool is that under the hood, is a VR38. So this thing makes 1,000 horsepower. This is the driveline from an R35 GTR. It's got massive wheels, big brakes behind them. The interior also done up really well as well. And the paint, well, actually the wrap. This is midnight purple wrap. It goes from blue to purple to, if we put the camera down here, orange in the correct light. Really faithful recreation to the original color. I love the idea of this. I don't know that it would sell. I mean, 1,000 horsepower SUV is kind of cool, but not really practical. As always, I gotta give a shout out to my friend Peter, who owns Gunther Works and Vorsteiner here. They always bring out some of the coolest super and hyper cars with all of their latest gadgets and gizmos on them. All of the body kit, body effects on these cars look wonderful, and I can't wait to see what they come up with next. One last stop before we go over to South Hall. This is the CSF Radiators booth, where we have a nice Ford GT, and then we have this, a Supra with a GTR drivetrain here. This is crazy, over 1,000 horsepower, RB26. I think it's actually an RB30 stroked out to a 32, but regardless, 1,000 plus horsepower in a Supra, manual transmission as well. This is crazy. The Ford GT is crazy. CSF always has a really good booth here. Here we are in South Hall, the last indoor spot of the day, and this is going to be mostly your tire and wheel outfitters. And then upstairs, which we don't have time to visit today, unfortunately, is going to be most of your tool alignment guys and a bunch of other stuff. Sorry to everybody that wanted to see the tools. I'm here to showcase cool cars like these here. These are some wild builds from Creative Bespoke here in South Hall. This purple Lamborghini with matching purple interior and a wide body. This is brand new on this Revuelto. Look at how wild this looks here, especially from the back as well. This just looks like an alien ship just about, with all of the different angles on it. Honestly, my favorite build in this booth is going to be this Rolls Royce. It has a custom wide body kit to it. Take a look at how the wide body fits. You actually have this body line going out and then up here on the car. You have these beautiful wheels as well with the Rolls Royce floater caps. You see just how much wider this kit is than the factory bodywork. The interior is very, like it or not, very polarizing with this orange and white creamsicle layout to match the exterior here, and you have to have the matching luggage too. And then around back, one of my favorite design features on these Rolls Royces is the big long tail light here. Just kind of swoops, finishes off the whole design of this car. I want to know in the comments, do you like Rolls Royces like this, or do you like them more subtle? The JTX Forge booth has one of my favorite trucks here personally, because my wife actually owns an OBS Tahoe 2-door, so this is near and dear to my heart here. Under the hood, supercharged 454, because this is a 454 SS. This has their new wheels. Everything in here was completely reupholstered. It looks totally foreign, and yet, for me, it also looks very much like home. It's kind of a crazy feeling when you're sitting here looking at it. And then around back here in the bed, tubs, of course, but they have a cutout here that's lifted up so you can see all of the custom suspension work. You've got the fuel cell there too. This is just a wonderful, wonderful truck. Simple, clean, elegant, but also very much got a lot going on under the surface too. That's what I like about this. Talk about cool displays. The Liberty Forge guys here definitely do have some cool displays. We are in Vegas after all, so we've got the roulette wheel, and then the American flag here, and all of these smaller wheels with all the different designs. I really like that. Here's a wild lifted Mercedes in the RTX wheels booth. Wide body, roof rack, new paint, new wheels and tires, of course, steel bumpers, spare rack up top. This thing's ready to go off-roading. It's got a winch and everything. This is a really, really unique build. I'd like to see more of these at SEMA. Here we are at the KRNC Forge booth, and this place is near and dear to my heart because I got to work with my friends here on building a set of wheels for my Dodge Stealth that I unveiled at Slammed Enough Gatlinburg, possibly the last Slammed Enough Gatlinburg that there ever will be. But anyway, this is one of the cooler cars here. This actually is a Corvette with a wild body kit on it and KRNC wheels, of course. carbon everywhere. And by the way, this is not wrap, it's paint, and that is actual carbon fiber running all the way around the car. Modifications definitely don't stop on the outside though. Everything on the inside is also completely redone, reupholstered. There's also no buttons, no physical buttons whatsoever. It's all controlled here through this center console. Next to it is this beautiful OEM Plus Audi. Next to that, a beautiful Mark IV Supra, and then behind that, an R34 sedan, again rocking the KRNC Forge wheels. Really cool display here at the show, and fun fact, those are the same center caps that I'm running in my Viper wheels, so it's really neat to see. This is just a really cool booth with some really cool cars in it. This will be the last booth here in South Hall because unfortunately we've run out of time and the show is about to end here on Friday. So let's go ahead and take a look at a couple cars here really quick. This is the Jeep Wrangler Rewind. It is made to invoke nostalgia from the 80s and 90s with all of the graphics especially and the color of the Jeep as well. And one of my favorite things is the wheels, these 5-hole wheels, taking it back to the 90s. But the interior on this one is equally as wild, maybe even more wild than the exterior. And it's also got a few nostalgic touches throughout the interior as well. I really like this. I love it when manufacturers get involved and really hit their core demographics really well, like this one here. And the last build here in South Hall I wanted to feature is the Dude Concept by Ram. This has one feature on it that you won't find on any other car that I'm aware of. You're looking at it right now. See through the glass there, that is a cowboy hat holder in the dash. If Dodge would just make this an accessory that you could buy at the dealerships, I think they would sell like hotcakes, especially in my area. Here we are outside and we've got tons of trucks everywhere we look around us here. That's basically the theme of outside. However, it's not all just trucks and it's not all just lifted trucks either. So let's take a look at a few cool things out here. Like this, how about a slam truck to get us started? This is a proper mini truck with a 13B rotary engine, turbocharger, and then an RX-8 transmission, RX-7 custom rear differential, and then all of this is done up with Hoppo's 4-pump hydraulic setup on 9 switches. Or how about this 2-door Tahoe? Again, my wife has one of these. It's not a convertible like this one is, nor is it sitting on gigantic black and gold wheels, but I always appreciate seeing these things out at shows, and this one's got a bumping sound system here in the back, courtesy of Rockford Fosgate. This thing is cool. Also, sorry about how loud things are here in the background. That's just how it's gonna be for a while. We'll walk you over there in just a minute, but before we do, a couple cool cars over here like this, a Liberty Walk 3rd Gen Camaro. This is unique. It's the first one here in North America. This is a brand new kit from Liberty Walk. It encompasses the entire vehicle. It's on air suspension, and one of my favorite parts is right here where there's normally like IROC or Z28. They've put their logo down there, and this kit just looks great. A good alternative for those that have 3rd Gen Camaros. Here we've got a beautiful Silverado dually finished in this gray with red interior, and look at the bed of this one. This is just insane. Exhaust work running all over top of everything, the airlines going over top of the custom chassis, and of course it's airbag suspension, so it can raise and lower, but all the craftsmanship in here just really shows. Here's a couple of proper SEMA builds. This right here is called the Crawler, and it is a huge Jeep. These are 30-inch wheels, I believe, right here, and they are just incredible to look at. And of course the suspension is linked front and rear. This is just a gnarly Jeep build, and yeah, it might not see mud or whatever, but it is cool to see all of the craftsmanship that goes into it. Speaking of things that might not ever see mud, this is a huge cat eye Silverado. I mean, you're looking at eye level. We're at the middle of the trim here. You still got all of this truck up above us. Again, humongous wheels on this one. They are 30-inch wheels, 44-inch tall tires. I love the design on these right here. These are TIS Forge wheels, really showcasing what they can do to match the rest of the truck on this one. Really, really cool build nonetheless. Here's a couple of proper Aussie burnout cars. Of course, blowers going through the non-existent hood here, sticking up just about as tall as the roof line. These things make a ton of power. You can see this one's even a wagon. These are always cool to see. And then really quick, this is the burn yard. They're wrapping everything up out here, but they've been shredding tires out here all week for this crowd. A really, really unique experience here at SEMA. Well, this truck's wheels look borked. Well, that's on purpose. It's actually a four-wheel steering setup. So you got the steering box here, and then look at this out back. All the custom suspension work to make this work is actually pretty impressive, and this is not the only truck out here rocking a similar setup like this. It's very unique, to say the least. This is the Fittipaldi Super Duty, and again, eye level right now. You can just about stand under this thing if you're about 5'4". This is just wild to see, and I mean, like, everything on these trucks is done up. You got to admit, whether you do or do not like trucks like this here at the SEMA show, you got to admit, this is pretty unique. Of course, wouldn't be SEMA without some Bluetooth drive shafts. This is one of the biggest trucks here. Of course, it is from the guys at Horn Blasters. These tires are about 5.5 feet tall. They're just unbelievable. You can just about stand completely underneath it without ducking. And then, yeah, here's the rest of the truck up here. Look at all of this custom suspension work to make all this work. And then it's got all of this right here. It's just gnarly to see. Here's the truck that's been setting the internet ablaze. I believe that Whistling Diesel made this truck initially. Something like 18 turbos on this turbo diesel. And it's crazy. You wanna know what's crazy? Not everybody goes to the back to look. There's equally as many horns here in the bed as well. Again, Horn Blasters. These guys definitely know how to do SEMA properly. But one of the coolest cars, and it hasn't gotten the proper attention that it really does deserve, although it does get quite a bit of attention, is this SS Montemino. It's a Monte Carlo, El Camino, and also a Chevrolet Corvette. This is all Chevy Corvette underneath it. LS V8, custom wide body, big, huge wheels, front and rear. You can see just how wide this thing was made. And then, of course, the El Camino style bed right here. As a total package, this is one of the most beautiful cars here at the show, and it is super well done. Here you can see the mad dash of people all headed over towards this way because the parade is about to start here in an hour or so. The guys at the BIY Build It Yourself YouTube channel have done a V10 swap out of a Ford F-250. It's not a Viper swap, it is from a Ford truck. It's also bagged, custom wheels, and then take a look at the interior. Mostly factory, but with the V10 logos there on the headrest. It's also got GT500 brakes, carbon fiber everywhere, a whole lot of other stuff. This thing is crazy good. Finally, here we are at the parade. This is where all of the builds come out of north, south, west, and central fall, as well as all around it, and drive down the road here in Vegas. I hope you enjoyed this overview of the 2025 SEMA show, and if you aren't already, be sure you're subscribed. Also, be sure to comment and let me know what your favorite build was from the show this year. That's it. I'll see you in the next one, and here's a few videos from the parade. That's dragging.